The internet thought the chaos surrounding Drake and Rihanna had finally cooled down. For a brief moment, it looked like the old emotional saga had faded into the background. But suddenly, the storm returned with even more tension than before. And according to online chatter, Drake appears to be right back in the middle of it, once again circling Rihanna's life in a way that many people on social media are calling deeply obsessive. This time the situation has taken a darker turn because fingers are being pointed directly at ASAP Rocky after a bizarre and disturbing incident unfolded outside Rihanna's home. The situation exploded online after news surfaced about a woman named Ivana Ortiz, who reportedly appeared at Rihanna's property again and again, nearly 10 separate times. Neighbors described a tense atmosphere as security tried to handle the escalating situation. At first, many observers assumed the story was simply another example of a celebrity dealing with an unstable fan. But then investigators began digging deeper, and suddenly the narrative shifted in a way that made the entire internet pause. Online detectives discovered hints suggesting the woman might have connections to people who allegedly oppose Rocky within his own circle.
You seen it? You saw Rihanna? You saw her picture?
That discovery instantly turned a strange stalking situation into something that looked far more calculated. Rumors began racing across social media like wildfire. Some people started claiming the woman might have been sent as part of a warning. The theory sounded outrageous, but the speculation grew louder after Rihanna reportedly made a sudden decision that left many people concerned. According to multiple reports, she packed up her children and quietly left the state, while Rocky remained behind. That move immediately fueled even more theories. Twitter threads, TikTok breakdowns, and YouTube commentary channels exploded with one chilling question: if the situation was truly harmless, why would Rihanna suddenly disappear with her family? Authorities eventually identified and arrested Ivana Ortiz, and the legal consequences appeared serious from the beginning. Her bail was reportedly set at more than $10 million, a staggering amount that almost guaranteed she would remain behind bars while the case moves forward. But the story grew even stranger once videos of the woman began circulating online. The clips showed her speaking in long, emotional rants filled with anger directed toward Rihanna. Watching those videos left many viewers unsettled. Her words were filled with accusations that sounded both chaotic and deeply hostile. In several recordings, she claimed that Rihanna had ruined her life, stolen her future, and somehow interfered with her thoughts. At one point she even accused Rihanna of possessing a devil face and called her a witch. The intensity of the hatred shocked viewers across the internet. Comment sections filled with reactions from confused fans who could not understand where such extreme resentment came from. Some viewers expressed sympathy, believing the woman appeared mentally unstable. Others felt the language in the video sounded too targeted to be random. That divide created an online debate that quickly spiraled out of control. Then another twist arrived that made the situation even more explosive. Internet investigators searching through the woman's social media activity discovered that she followed a figure connected to one of Rocky's most well-known rivals. That rival was rumored to be ASAP Rocky. The discovery immediately triggered a wave of speculation across hip-hop forums and entertainment blogs. Suddenly people began asking whether the situation outside Rihanna's house might have been more than a random act from a disturbed individual. The theory that someone might have manipulated the situation from behind the scenes began spreading everywhere. To understand why that theory caught so much attention,
towards my stomach, towards my...
people began revisiting the complicated history between Rocky and Rihanna. Years ago the two men reportedly shared a close friendship and were connected through the same street circles. They moved together, supported each other's music careers, and appeared inseparable. But everything began changing after Rocky's relationship with Rihanna became serious. According to past interviews, Rocky admitted that falling deeply in love with Rihanna changed the way he spent his time. His focus shifted almost entirely toward building a life with her. While some of his longtime associates understood that he was stepping into a new chapter of adulthood and family life, others allegedly interpreted his distance as abandonment. Rumors started spreading that certain people in his old circle felt disrespected by the sudden change. According to online discussions, Rihanna might have been one of the people who struggled the most with that shift. The tension between them reportedly grew slowly at first, simmering beneath the surface before exploding into a full-blown falling out. But the true fracture between them allegedly came from something far more sensitive. Reports claim that Rocky faced criticism for failing to financially support the family of a deceased member connected to their shared community. For some people inside that circle, loyalty meant stepping in during moments of tragedy. When that expectation went unmet, resentment reportedly began to grow. Combined with Rocky's increasing distance after building his life with Rihanna, the situation created a storm of frustration that eventually turned former allies into bitter enemies. Now, with the bizarre situation involving Ivana Ortiz suddenly connecting to that history, the internet has entered full conspiracy mode. Some fans believe the entire event might simply be the result of a troubled individual acting alone. Others are convinced that deeper forces might be involved behind the scenes. Social media remains divided, but one thing is certain: the drama surrounding Rihanna, Rocky, and the ghosts of old friendships has reopened a story many people believed had already ended. And judging by the intensity of the online reactions, this situation might only be getting started. The confrontation did not begin as a public spectacle. At first, it looked like two former friends attempting to resolve a private dispute away from cameras and headlines. According to accounts circulating online, tensions between ASAP Rocky and ASAP Rocky had been building quietly for months. Eventually, the situation reached a boiling point. Rocky confronted Rocky directly, and the two allegedly agreed to meet face to face to settle the issue like grown men. No social media. No entourages. Just a conversation meant to calm the storm. But what happened next turned a private meeting into one of the most controversial moments in hip-hop drama. When Rocky arrived at the meeting location, the atmosphere reportedly shifted immediately. Instead of appearing alone, he arrived with two other men. And according to Rocky's account, Rocky also had a gun with him. Rocky later insisted that the weapon was nothing more than a prop. His explanation claimed that he carried it simply to keep the situation under control in case emotions escalated. But Rocky painted a far more alarming picture. He claimed Rocky fired at him twice during the confrontation. The allegation sent shockwaves through social media, instantly turning a private argument into a headline-grabbing scandal that had fans arguing across every platform. Rocky, however, refused to accept that narrative. He pleaded not guilty and maintained that no real bullets were fired. According to his defense, the gun contained blanks. In other words, he argued that there was no genuine attempt to harm anyone. And then investigators began examining the scene. What they reportedly discovered only made the entire situation more confusing. Police searched the area thoroughly, yet they found no physical evidence that a shooting had taken place. There were no shell casings. No bullet holes. No damaged property. Nothing that resembled the aftermath of gunfire. The absence of evidence immediately raised questions across the internet. If shots were truly fired, where was the proof? At that point, many observers assumed the situation would quietly fade away. Without physical evidence, the case appeared weak. People expected the dispute to dissolve into another unresolved celebrity rumor. But the story took a strange turn that reignited the controversy. 2 days after authorities had already inspected the location and found nothing, Rocky returned to the scene and suddenly produced shell casings. According to him, those casings came directly from the crime scene itself. That revelation instantly triggered skepticism online. The same location that had already been searched by law enforcement had produced zero evidence. Yet days later, shell casings appeared. Social media exploded with theories. Some viewers accused Rocky of staging evidence.
Like, the fuck you brought a gun for, pussy? That's the words I was saying.
Others insisted the original investigation had been rushed or incomplete. The debate became chaotic. The only piece of visual proof that surfaced publicly came from nearby security footage. Cameras captured Rocky and Rocky physically confronting each other during the encounter. The footage showed tension, pushing, and a heated altercation. But the crucial moment that everyone wanted to see never appeared on camera. The video did not clearly capture any gun being fired. For critics of the accusations, that absence became the central argument. For supporters of Rocky, it simply meant the cameras missed the most critical seconds. Eventually the legal battle moved forward, and Rocky managed to avoid prison time related to the allegations. Legally speaking, the situation cooled down. But emotionally and culturally, the story refused to disappear. If the accusations held any truth, some people believed that Rocky never truly moved past what he claimed happened that night. And just when the drama seemed to be settling into the background, another unexpected name entered the conversation and pushed the narrative into even more explosive territory. That name was Drake. Behind the scenes, rumors began circulating that Drake had grown increasingly vocal about the situation, particularly when it involved Rihanna. Insiders suggested he believed Rocky had placed her in danger through his lifestyle and associations. Drake never delivered these accusations directly to the public. Many observers believe he understood the backlash that would follow if he openly criticized Rihanna's partner. Still, whispers from sources close to him suggested that he felt deeply unsettled about the entire situation. And for anyone familiar with hip-hop history, Drake inserting himself into the Rocky conversation felt almost inevitable. Their tension stretches back years, fueled by rivalry, music, and one very complicated factor: Rihanna. At one point, Drake and Rocky shared a friendly relationship. They collaborated, appeared together publicly, and moved in similar creative circles. But everything shifted once Rocky and Rihanna became romantically linked after Drake and Rihanna had already gone their separate ways. From that moment forward, Drake's music began carrying subtle and sometimes not so subtle jabs aimed at both Rihanna and Rocky. Fans quickly dissected every lyric, hunting for hidden references. One of the most controversial examples appeared on Drake's track, Fear of Heights. In that song, he delivered lines that many listeners interpreted as a thinly veiled attack on Rihanna, dismissing their past relationship in a blunt and almost shocking way. Social media immediately erupted. Some listeners accused Drake of bitterness. Others argued he was simply venting through music, the way artists often do. And the lyrical tension did not stop there. On another track titled Another Late Night, Drake appeared to reference Rocky again, using wordplay connected to Rocky's nickname, Flacco. For fans paying close attention, the message seemed obvious. The rivalry had not disappeared. It had simply evolved into a musical chess match played through lyrics and subtle shade. What makes the entire situation even more fascinating is Drake's long and complicated history with Rihanna. For years, he publicly admired her, sometimes almost obsessively.